All right. Good Sunday morning, everyone. First Alert Meteorologist Eric Burke. Just want to give you an update on the very unpleasant day we are seeing unfolding for your First Alert weather day. Sunday, Monday, now a 48 First Alert weather day as well. This is just going to be an overview of what we're expecting as we go through the rest of the day today. We've got that dangerous cold arriving overnight into tomorrow morning, and we've got potential for black ice developing this evening, overnight into Monday. I'm sure a lot of questions about people going to work tomorrow and what to expect on the roads. Pretty high confidence and at least some patchy slick spots developing, and that's all as temperatures are going to fall as we go through the rest of the afternoon into the evening. And these temps will fall very fast. I'm not expecting just a total flash freeze event, but it can't be ruled out for certain areas. So let's get right to the radar here on this Sunday. Hope you're having a great day. It's good sleeping weather, that's for sure. But we go out to the radar right now, and this is what you got. Now, you do see a lot of the pink showing up on the radar here, and what this is thinking is just the way the radar works. If you joined our stream here this morning, Jeff and I were talking a lot about this. It's basically assuming, based on the surface temperature, the air temperature, of what type of precipitation you're seeing. Now, if I were to guess, over parts of northwest Alabama, you might be seeing some freezing rain at the moment. We're going to talk about road temperatures and everything like that coming up, air temperature, all of the finer details up into Middle Tennessee as well, possibly seeing some sleet or freezing rain. But for most everyone else, this is just a widespread, cold, miserable rain event unfolding, and the temperatures reflect that too, as most of us are in the 30s and 40s. Travel conditions, I would say maybe northwest Alabama still has some icy spots. Everyone else just dealing with ponding and puddles on area roadways because it's rained a lot. Our rainfall totals have really jumped up here. This is a tool that we use during severe weather, but the correlation coefficient up in northwest Alabama might be showing some sleet potentially, but again, some uncertainty there. Heard some thunder, saw some lightning this morning. A lot of people chiming in that they were hearing thunder. We're not forecasting any form of strong to severe storm, so obviously that is good news. But if we go over to my radar tools here and talk about the road temperatures, this is what we've got. A concerning amount of locations showing road temperatures at or below freezing. New Market is a mix with mostly rain. See, now that's helpful information. All of your reports obviously appreciated. Roads are wet west of Florence and cars are moving at normal speed, but it is coming down. Dana, is that just rain, or I would assume it's just kind of a colder rain? But if you look at our road temperatures here, this is where the concern is going to start to come in. It might just seem like a cold rain, but if our surface temperatures on the roads, the sidewalks, the parking lots, unfortunately your tree limbs as well, or power lines for that matter, with them being, kind of at or below freezing, this is where we potentially have quite a bit of freezing rain leading to a little bit of ice building up too. Now, this kind of goes from road sensors here as far as the map you're looking at, as far as the temperatures. But if you're seeing a lot of cold rain in Muscle Shoals and your road temperature is 31 or 30 in Russellville, this is why it's kind of concerning. It's hard to pinpoint every specific location of whether or not you are going to start to see, a little bit of ice building up. It's still possible as we go through the rest of the morning into the afternoon. But road temperatures in Scottsboro, Fort Payne, 39, 37, those are good. Even Madison County is above freezing. Athens, Decatur, and maybe some travel through Limestone County along 65, potentially for, some ice to build up there. If you look at our rain totals here, this is a lot of rain. And we were forecasting anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain with this event. And now this is over your past 24 hours here, but you've already picked up, we'll just say precipitation, 1.5 inches of precipitation over northwest Alabama, about 1.5 inches. So Franklin, Colbert, Lauderdale County, Lawrence County, Moulton right now is at 1.6 inches. We've got rainfall amounts pushing 1 inch or more in Middle Tennessee, as well as Athens, Decatur, down into Coleman. And then also the rainfall is spreading now more eastward, and these numbers have jumped up substantially. I would say since we wrapped up the last stream with meteorologist Jeff DeNoyer at 9 o'clock, our rainfall since then has been about 1 inch for most locations, and that is substantial because that is a lot of water coming down, and that water is going to start to pond on those roadways, so that makes travel difficult. But this is also the amount of rainfall that we're looking at that is potentially going to freeze over once the temps really start to fall later this evening. So this is a big rain event for us. Worried about these road temperatures too. No road closures as of right now that I know about, but it is going to get awfully cold here. So I know you see the pink, some of you in the comments reporting a little bit of mixed precipitation, and we thought we'd see a little bit of sleet mix in there. Waterloo, horrible. Yeah, no surprise there. That was one of the areas we thought would be hit hardest with that ice storm warning, and we still have an ice storm warning in effect for Northwest Alabama through 6 o'clock this evening. But be safe out there in Waterloo. You guys probably picked up the most ice out of anyone in the entire viewing area. And that was the concern all along, is that that place would be hardest hit too. Meanwhile, everyone else kind of just dealing with this cold rain event unfolding, but all of us have to deal with the bitter cold arriving overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. So, and just to kind of give you a breakdown what we have going on. We've got the ice storm warning. That's that purple color for Franklin, Colbert, Lauderdale, portions of Middle Tennessee into northern Mississippi as well. That goes through 6 o'clock this evening. I don't see that being extended any longer than that because the threat for ice will wrap up, but that doesn't, the ice storm warning is for ice due to freezing rain, not necessarily talking about, potential for black ice on the roads. Pretty high confidence in at least patchy black ice. From 40 this morning to 34 now is what Amber said. Yeah, temperatures are going to fall through the day. When I came into work this morning, it was 48 degrees, but that's a thing of the past. Now temperatures are going to continue to fall as we go through the rest of the morning into the afternoon. So cold weather advisory is the teal color, and those counties under the ice storm warning are also under the cold weather advisory. This goes all the way through noon on Tuesday, and this product is new, actually. I believe it replaces the wind chill advisory that we used to have several years ago. They kind of simplified the products. Cold weather advisory, dangerous wind chill potential coming tomorrow morning, anywhere from 5 above to 5 below zero too. So, there's a lot of variables with this forecast. The highest confidence is definitely going to be in the cold. So tonight is a night I myself am going to do my cold weather precautions. I'm going to drip my faucets. I don't want any frozen pipes or anything like that, and that is possible on a night like that too. So these are the winter weather products we have with the cold weather advisory, the ice storm warning continuing. But heavy rain continues, even some rumbles of thunder expected. Just to reiterate, we're not forecasting any form of severe weather. Wouldn't that just be the icing on the cake of this event too? But the blast of frigid air comes in by this evening. The cold front itself is going to come through. The winds will shift to the northwest, and we get that Arctic surge of air too. So any lingering water on the roads potentially could see some improvement just because the air will be very dry and you get the natural evaporation process with the dry air over the wet roads. We'll have some breezy winds too. I would assume at least main roads, might see some drying. I hope they dry out. I hope they dry out entirely to avoid any hazardous travel conditions. But I'm assuming, based on the way things are going, that there's certainly going to be some slick spots developing later tonight, overnight into tomorrow morning, maybe some improvement in the roads as we go into maybe tomorrow afternoon. Now, temperatures will stay below freezing, but a little bit of sunshine should help in the drying of the roadways as well. So that's kind of the forecast in a nutshell. If we go through your hour-by-hour forecast here, just real slow for you. Again, seeing some of that pink over northwest Alabama by about 10:30, and this is pretty consistent with what the current radar is showing. So the model has a pretty good grasp on this. We've got more heavy rain, but if you look at the temperature in Fayetteville on the model is 41. If we look at your actual air temperature, it's 34. So this is the part of the forecast that the model is not grasping all that well. Well, it's 36 now. It actually just changed over. But if the model's thinking 41 and it's actually only 36, you could get a bit more of that mixed precipitation. Not expecting snow showers overnight, Chaz. Maybe a few flurries in the mix, but the air is going to be so dry, I think it would just be flurries. And we don't have a lot of moisture. But going back to the future radar hour by hour here, you just continue to deal with this wave of heavy rain, picking up 1 to 3 inches of rainfall with this event, this cold, miserable rain, making travel difficult just because of the standing water on the roadways. Now the temperatures start to fall as we go into about 3 o'clock. So the rain has ended. Everyone's drying out from the lack of rainfall, but our skies are still cloudy, so we're not looking at any sunshine with this. The winds will be breezy, the air will be dry, but really temperatures are going to start to fall very quickly. Here we go, now about 7 o'clock, and our temperatures are in the 20s to low 30s. So this is where we start to see that concern for some ice developing. A lot of people asking about school closures. Full list is on our website, WAFF.com. Right there on the homepage, you can't miss it. I know a lot of the churches even canceled service today. I think that was a smart decision as well, just with the amount of people that are going to church on a Sunday and thinking about hazardous travel and everything. I think that was a good call. We're going to talk about the wind here in a second, but this is going to be Sunday at 7 o'clock now. Temperatures are in the 20s to low 30s, so everyone is now basically below freezing. This is where we see the ice starting to develop, and then look at our temperatures as we go into tomorrow morning. This is going to be 6 a.m., and we've got now an air temperature in the teens, so it's not like, oh, we're right around freezing. That's out of the picture here. This is going to be very dangerously cold air coming in, so any lingering moisture on the roads is going to freeze. Hopefully some of it evaporates. Hopefully the wind will do its thing and dry out the roads a bit. But really, this is a pretty dicey situation developing for your Monday morning drive. And this was one of the things in our forecast that we were really stressing. We were worried about the roads Saturday morning. As expected, we saw improvement by Saturday afternoon, evening. Temperatures actually warmed overnight, so that improved things a lot. But now we're worried about the roads tonight into tomorrow morning, potentially even a few shaded areas. Could be icy until Tuesday morning too. So just a lot of variables in the forecast, and it all is dependent on temperatures too. Let's talk about the wind chill here. Wind chill at noon. If you've been outside, you're brave, first of all, but just a biting wind. It's out of the southwest right now, but it will become northwesterly as the front itself moves in. Look what happens as we go into the afternoon. This is 4 o'clock this afternoon. Some of you in Middle Tennessee are already looking at, a wind chill in the single digits. Everyone is mostly in the teens, and that cold air will eventually move into parts of Sand Mountain too. And we could have, wind chill 20s and 30s initially, but then this is what happens by tomorrow morning. This is the reason for that cold weather product coming out, is because we're looking at 5 below to 5 above for your wind chill tomorrow morning. And the wind chill doesn't have any factor on the actual road conditions, but the air temperature is also going to be in the teens. That is going to have an impact on those road conditions, leading to some, more patchy black ice developing. Some roads, if they're sheltered, it could be widespread icy conditions. It's just kind of hard to forecast specific locations of what the roads will be looking like. I know so many people have kind of asked, oh, do I need to go to work today or do I need to go to work tomorrow? My best advice, as always, use good common sense, good judgment too. Dana's hoping for relief so more trees don't fall. It is a lot of rain to sublimate. That's a very good word there. Sublimation is when liquid ice basically skips right over the liquid phase and goes from ice to gaseous state. Sometimes we see sublimation with snow, where it's moving through a dry column of air. You get the snow falling, and it goes through that dry air, and it goes right from ice or frozen precip over to water vapor. If we have icy spots on the roads, yeah, sublimation takes a lot of energy from the atmosphere to actually make that transition from icy spots on the roads over to just that water vapor too. The air will be incredibly dry, so that's just another thing hopefully aiding in the process. But we've still got a ton of rain to get through, likely for at least the next 4 hours or so before we finally see the end of precipitation too. But look at the wind chill tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., and it feels like, potentially below zero, and it doesn't improve a lot through the day. This is going to be a dangerous, dangerous cold through the day on Monday. So think of your outside pets, make sure they're inside somewhere warm, or at least make sure they've got a nice shelter, something preferably heated. And if they're out in the rain right now too, just know that, then they're wet and cold, and that's a bad combination for your animals too. But as we go through the day tomorrow, the wind chill probably staying in the single digits through the entire day. Maybe if you're lucky, you get into the teens. And then look at the cold we have again, waking up on Tuesday morning. This is the reason that cold weather product goes all the way through noon on Tuesday, is because the wind chill on Tuesday morning is also in the single digits to below zero. And finally, by Tuesday afternoon, it'll be a sunny day. Roads should be just about back to normal by Tuesday afternoon. So there you go. This is an extended, brutal cold stretch for us. Going back to the radar here, possibility of some mixed precip now creeping into northern Madison County. Unsure of whether that's going to be freezing rain or sleet. Up there in Lincoln County, might be seeing some sleet or freezing rain, as well as northwest Alabama. I know I've seen Waterloo pop up in the chat a couple times too. And yeah, this is just, it's not a good situation for a lot of you, but especially over northwest Alabama. Just a real nasty winter storm we've been dealing with. And I think part of the frustration with this is how long of duration event this has been, starting Saturday morning with the roads being impassable, if not even closed for so many locations. And then we get all this cold rain coming in. I mean, this is an entire weekend that most of you have been stuck at home too. So a long duration event, as we were forecasting, it's just not fun to deal with. Winter weather here in the South, it's brutal, it's impactful, and it affects all of us for sure. But cold weather advisory, I showed you the wind chills, that goes through noon on Tuesday. Hour by hour forecast showing the rain moving out here by about 3 o'clock at the latest. Just quick look at your rain timeline. I did mention some flurries earlier. Possibly see some snow flurries in the mix later this evening, but the air is very dry. So that's something to keep an eye on. Kind of interesting to see how the temperatures have differed here over the past couple of hours. Everyone now, with the exception being Lawrenceburg, is above freezing. So Lawrenceburg is at 32, everyone else above freezing. But if you go back to the road temperatures again, this is a combination of things factored in here. And we're seeing road temperatures now falling, especially those elevated areas and bridges and overpasses. You saw this firsthand in the shoals yesterday with that sleet starting to build up and freeze over on the roads, leading to really bad travel. Road temps, anytime we're around 32, 33 even, that there's a few areas that potentially are colder than that, especially if it is an elevated road too. So there's just so many variables in this to give people straight answers as far as what is the travel going to be like. We're anticipating tough travel tonight into tomorrow. I mean, that's the most easy way to phrase it, is I would expect some tough conditions. And then that's why a lot of the school districts closed, and for good reason. You don't want your students and your kids on a school bus on a road that potentially has icy spots on it. Just not a good situation too. Rainfall totals continue to add up here. Now most everyone has at least seen an inch of rain. Still playing a little bit of catch up there over northeast Alabama too. So, you know, your rain will fill in. You'll be the last ones to see the rain come to an end if you're in northeast Alabama. Well, Amber, part of that is, you know, temperatures this morning, depending on where you live. I think you might be one of the northwest Alabama folks. Some of us were close to 50 degrees here this morning too, and you know that's going to warm up your road temps as well. But you know, this is there's so many variables to this forecast, and it's very hard to. We assume the worst is basically the politest way of phrasing it. We're going to assume our temperatures are going to run colder. We're going to assume that some people might now very well maybe seeing freezing rain, and we could see additional ice building up here. It's just tough. It's a tough forecast. No thunder and lightning lately, but still potential for some rumbles of thunder here as we go through the rest of the morning. Yeah, and that's the thing too, depending on what time people leave for work, you know, black ice is clear ice on the roads, which can be dark. It's very hard to see. We're not talking about probably a sheet of ice. It's going to be, you know, just kind of hit and miss, but there's certain areas where you see, you know, standing water, that's going to freeze over, and it's going to be varying different parts of your drive of, you know, what the road conditions are like. At one time you could be doing a normal speed, and then, you know, a second later you hit a patch of ice, and then all of a sudden you're in the median or you're in a ditch somewhere, and that's not good from a safety perspective too. But yeah, temperatures continue to fall here. A lot of people saying the temperatures are dropping. Everyone appreciating our coverage of this event. Yes, you're very welcome. Obviously, we're happy to do it, happy to do our part, happy to try and answer as many questions that you guys have. You know, events like this, especially long duration events, this isn't like the ice storm of 2024 where we had all that sleet and then things just got compounded with people driving on the sleet. It all got packed down. Then, of course, we had that dangerous cold to follow too. That was worst case scenario for us. You know, the infrastructure, people with all the cities and counties and everything, I know they were trying to do their best to get ahead of this, but it's very difficult to do when you have so many different types of precipitation over, you know, the extent of this event. I don't know if they could put down a brining treatment in anticipation of the black ice developing tonight if the roads are still wet. I'm not sure how that process works. I'm sure we'll have a lot more on, you know, the infrastructure and how people are treating the roads as we go through the rest of the evening newscast. Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis in at 5 and 10. Forecaster Jada Russell will be in as well. Meteorologist Jeff Denoyer started things off here this morning. People asking about school closings. We've gotten so many, I don't remember the specifics too, but if you just go to WAFF.com, it's right there on the top of the homepage. It says closings and delays. You click on that and you look for what you're looking for. And if it's not listed, either they haven't canceled or delayed anything yet, or just assuming that they are open. You could always reach out to school officials if you have questions. I'm sure they have some kind of a contact line that you could potentially reach out to them to get the latest. But again, WAFF.com, it's right there on the homepage, right at the first screen you go to. It's right there for you, all the closings and delays too. My fine ladies in back putting out those the link to that as well too. Yeah, hurricanes are more long duration events. Usually we kind of just get that quick hit of snow and that's kind of it. And the snow will linger for a bit, but to have, you know, a 48-hour winter storm like this, especially starting off the way it did yesterday morning, very difficult and I get it. You're cooped up, you're hanging out with your family, and you can't really leave the house depending on where you live, or you don't want to go out and drive in all the rain that we're seeing right now. There's just a lot going on with this. Go to the wind forecast here. Show you the winds we're talking about. And this is going to play a big role, obviously, in your wind chill or feels like temperatures. That, the wind gust will be about 15 to 25 miles per hour. So that's not good if there is any lingering ice on those tree limbs or tree branches, as well as the power lines, because you've got all that weight on the lines from the ice as it is, and then you've got the winds blowing it around too, kind of bouncing around. That's really not a good situation. But these winds might do us a bit of a favor and, potentially help in the drying process too. If we go to our dew point here, obviously the air is saturated at this time, dew point in the 30s and 40s, but the dew point overnight will probably be in the teens, and that's very dry air, and that helps in the drying process too. But really just a nasty, nasty day from start to finish. Here's a look at the next couple of hours. This is mainly for the metro areas. There will be some outliers, with this. This is a forecast that could have easily been broken into 8 different zones as far as exact impacts and specific impacts of what people are seeing where you live. I know there's people in Coleman, maybe southern Marshall County, that you've seen nothing but really rain with this event, and honestly, good for you if that's the case too. So, but look at our temperatures falling, and we stay cloudy. So we're not expecting any sun here today. Cold and breezy overnight. That's where the wind chill factor comes in. And I wish I could show you the 10-day and say, hey, I've got great news here. This is amazing. Look at the warm up. That's not the case. Your extended forecast is still cold, and it stays cold too, especially our overnight temperatures. Look at these lows. Some days in the teens, other days right around 20 degrees. I mean, every morning of this entire work and school week, abbreviated work and school week for some of you, depending on your school district or your place of employment, you're looking at this and it's just cold. Every single day is cold, and it's going to stay cold. This is going to probably be our roughest stretch of the winter. That's wishful thinking, optimistic thinking, and I hope that is the case. But we've got a first alert weather day today, obviously, and now a first alert weather day on Monday for the concerns of not only dangerous wind chill values, but also the patchy black ice possible on those area roads. 38 on Tuesday, so we'll finally be above freezing by Tuesday afternoon. That's when we should see the last of any icy conditions developing. The forecast remains dry. We're not expecting any rain after potentially a few flurries tonight. And I just say flurries. I know a lot of people were hoping for a big snow event, and that really didn't pan out. You got a freezing rain and sleet event and hazardous travel instead. The definitely not fun part of a winter storm. But we are dry. We are dry for the time being. Once the rain ends, about 3 o'clock or so this afternoon over northeast Alabama. And we just stay in the 30s for highs. Maybe by the end of next weekend, back in the 40s, which is still well below average. So that's it, folks. Again, just to reiterate, heavy rain continues. It will continue. Some of you will see some mixed precipitation in the form of sleet and maybe even freezing rain. But this is future radar showing the precip ending. So precip should be ending over northwest Alabama about 1 o'clock. We'll say 2 just to play it safe. Showers gone. Then temperatures drop very fast. We start to see icy conditions maybe developing as early as 4 or 5 o'clock this evening. There's a ton of rain out there, and that's a ton of rain on the roads. Plus, you get the runoff effect, low-lying areas, the shoulders, the turning lanes of those roadways. They start to, see rainfall accumulation. Then that starts to freeze over. Very realistic concern. And then tomorrow morning, look at this. Air temperature in the teens. So we're not just hovering around 32 degrees or so. No, we're talking, we are definitely well below freezing here. So any wet spots will become icy. Cannot stress that enough. Tomorrow by noon, we should get to see the sun at least. That's good news. Air temperature in the 20s. Wind chill tomorrow though. Tomorrow morning, 5 below to 5 above. Tomorrow afternoon, noon, wind chill, single digits, low teens. Brutal, miserable cold. Good day to stay inside. I know a lot of people have lost power. Morgan beat me right to it. As soon as I said that, power out where they live, a lot of people are without power, and that's not good, especially with the cold we have coming overnight tonight into tomorrow too. I know crews are working their hardest to get things restored and everything, so we told you this would be an impactful event. One way or another, between the cold, the travel conditions, the amount of rain, the variables at play, as far as impacts to people going to work and everything. Our first responders, the linemen and women, they're out there in this. They're doing their best. The counties, the cities, the municipalities, all the infrastructure people are working their best. You know, TVA, all the people doing their best to mitigate this as much as possible. Go check our temperatures one more time. And so Lawrenceburg's still 32, 40 in Huntsville, 39 Decatur. I'm guessing it just feels a lot colder because of that wind, and it's just a damp day too with the cold rain on top of it. Maybe your perception of temperature is off a little bit, but 43 in Scottsboro, great news for you guys in Jackson County. 43 in Coleman, and we've got 30s everywhere else. So still potential for freezing rain. So we go to our road temperatures here. A lot of clicking through all these different graphics. Road temperatures along and west of I-65 potentially at or below freezing. So still potential for icy spots out there right now, even though it might just look like a cold, plain old rain, and we could still see some ice starting to build up here. But biggest concern will be roadway conditions tonight, overnight, into tomorrow, along with the dangerous cold. So hopefully this answered some of your questions. I know an evolving forecast, an evolving situation, but this is what Mother Nature has given us for January 23rd, 24th, and 25th, and even the week coming our way is going to be very cold too. So I hope everyone does stay warm, stay safe. I'm asking you again, if you have to travel, use good common sense, good judgment. Drive slow, especially tonight, overnight, into tomorrow morning. Patchy black ice, it could even be widespread in certain areas. It depends on when the rain ends. We're still thinking about 1, 2 o'clock for northwest Alabama, and then moving out of northeast Alabama, the last precipitation around 3. That gives us about 2 hours and 15 minutes of daylight still with dry air, windy conditions to hopefully dry out some of the roads. But our rainfall totals with this event have already been impressive, and we've got more coming down as we speak. So that's going to wrap up this stream. I'll have another one coming up probably around 11:30 or so. We'll just go through the same thing over again, hopefully answer some of your folks' questions. Again, full list of closures on our website, WAFF.com. It's right there on the homepage. It's a tab. It just says closings and delays. Click on it, and you'll get all your information there. But that is going to do it for me for now. Again, about 11:30 or so, we'll get another stream coming up, and we'll go through it all again. So have a good day. Stay warm, stay dry, and yeah, just stay with 48 for the latest. All right, have a good day.